Hi, in this lesson, you will be asked to solve word problems. I have an example here on my board that we're going to work on together. My example says, listen, Riley has 5 markers. She gave Haley 3 markers. How many markers does Riley have left? So there are some important things that we need to do before we even are able to get started solving our word problem. First, we always like to determine what information out of the word problem that we're going to need to solve our word problem. So we always like to circle the numbers. So the first number that we see is 5. The second number that we see is 3. Then, remember, we always like to underline, or we usually highlight, what we are solving. We're solving for how many markers that Riley will have at the end. So instead of highlighting, I'm just going to underline today. And then the last thing that we need to do is we need to determine, if we are going to add or subtract, or if maybe we're going to multiply, or we're going to divide. So we need to look for those keywords. So in this word problem, we do have some keywords that instead of highlighting like we do when we're working together, we are just going to underline. Actually, we'll make a squiggly line underneath just because we underlined up here. So our keywords here are have left. And I want you to think to yourself for a second, what does have left mean? Does that mean that we will add, subtract, multiply, or divide? If you said we will subtract, you are correct. Next, we have to look back at that information that we talked about and we highlighted or underlined or circled. So we said that Riley has 5 markers and that she gave Haley 3 markers. And again, we want to make sure that we find out how many she has left. So we've already decided that we are going to subtract. So if Riley started with 5 markers and we know that we're going to subtract how many she gave to Haley, which was 3, then we can write that down. So our problem is going to look like this. 5 minus 3, and then we need to solve for that. So 5 minus 3, if we count backwards, is 5, 4, 3, 2. So remember, when we're subtracting, we're counting backwards. So we just determined that Riley will have 2 markers left. And remember, the last part that we need to make sure that we do is always, after we determine what the answer is, what we solve for, we need to make sure that we come back and put in there what she has. Because just 2, somebody might wonder, 2 what? So we want to make sure that we say that she has 2 markers. So we have solved that problem. Again, the problem says Riley has 5 markers. She gave Haley 3 markers. How many markers does Riley have left? And we solved that word problem together, and we determined that Riley has 2 markers left. Good job!